What is to be successful to you these days?
On my personal journey, it's about having enough courage to step up on the stage of life and share what I know before I go. I've worked over 30 years as a psychotherapist. I have helped thousands of people, particularly women. So mine is to share, is to help women in my own little way to really appreciate and value who they are and to come out from under the ways that have held them back internally and externally. It's kind of like we've done quite a bit of work externally. I mean, it started in the 60s, or it started 100 years ago when I saw those beloved suffrages. We got some of the inequalities met. It kind of went about 180 degrees and then sometimes settled back into believing it was taken care of. And you know how sly and slippery inequality can be for women, for others, all levels of inequality. And so that's my little piece, to do my little bit before I go to help women just stand up and be counted. That would be success.
In your book, you say women have the power of their feelings, their wisdom, intuition, and emotional intelligence, to name a sum of the dynamic ways women create success. I love that. So my next question is about the feminine power. Talk to me about that. What is feminine power?
Well, in some ways, I might need to speak about what it's not. We have been conditioned to believe success is what counts as success in the world is the male template, which is sort of linear, logical. We needed the male template. They've done wonderful things all over the world, but there is a divisiveness in there. There's a competition in there, and there is a sense of pride because men were conditioned that success meant being divisive, meant being kind of like the Marlboro man and be independent and be linear and be aggressive. Then what happened was women didn't have a feminine template. It's happening, it's emerging, it's happening as we speak. So women tried to fit into this template that was passed down to them that equated success. It didn't work too well for us, but then women felt like something was wrong with them, as we tend to do, because they weren't successful in the way men were. And women then tried to do it harder. Maybe if I do it more or work harder, I'll be successful. And what they were doing was against their essence, or they were betraying themselves. They didn't know because that's all that's out there. But women are by nature willing to be beginners, usually more curious, usually less pride, and women are community builders. And instead of divisiveness and the Marlboro unique approach, women are learning to also trust other women and to develop community. And when women trust other women, there's amazing power. It doesn't mean they don't have some of the male attributes as we all do. I mean, we could get up off the couch if we didn't have a nice combination of both. It's just that if it gets extreme on either end of the spectrum, it's out of balance. And one of the reasons women have been conditioned over time not to trust other women, and that goes back to the patriarchal scarcity to belief, where women were, not that many decades ago, owned by their partners and to not have any power. I mean, did they have money conversations? Do they have which schools? Women were running the household, but they didn't have power to make money decisions and to make big buying decisions. And it's kind of like, I have women say to me these days, we can set any time for my appointment. I don't work. This is a woman running, a household of children, the social calendar, the husband's other properties, I don't work. She's not valuing her work because she's not bringing in a check at the end of the week. And so that was passed down to us too. And it's like there's a scarcity of men. So be careful. Don't get too cozy with another woman or other women because they may take your man. I mean, it's so sly and divisive, and we think, oh no, that's not there today. That's not there today. Some vestiges of it are still there. So what's really good is women are starting to see each other in the fullness of who they are and what they are contributing, and their courage and their beauty, even if it's not a cheerleader model, seeing beauty in themselves. And I work to help women love themselves. Sometimes that's a bit of a journey because if they didn't fit into a certain mold, they disregarded themselves. Women's power will have some of the men's energy taking action. When a woman gets determined, when she turns her attention on something and then has an intention to do something about an issue, and then gets determined, and then she follows through, let me tell you, that's a force to deal with. And also, in order to do that, you have to have male attributes of setting goals, following through, and having a plan. But women's power incorporates that gift and flourishes it and opens it up in a way where community is included, not divided, not us against them.
We spoke about this briefly off record, the difference between force and power. I noticed that even a lot of times I hesitate to use the word power, and I see a lot of women doing that.
Yeah.
Is that because we're confusing power with force and control?
Yes, because that's the only template, that had any power around us as we were a lot younger. And I'm a lot older woman, but in between there have been several generations who were still raised with that template. I asked a colleague of mine to look at the title. I wanted her to review a couple of the first chapters, and she couldn't get past the word power.
Right.
She spent days finding synonyms for me to use instead of the word power because she said that is such a turnoff. That's just going to turn women off. They won't read it. I saw her point because from where women come from, power means control. Power means aggression. Power means if it doesn't work, use a bigger hammer. Power means if it doesn't work, we'll take out the heavy artillery. But really, really true power is when we decide this far and no further.